So recently, I've been seeing many a comment about PJ Washington and how he's been terrible, and that Jason Kidd just needs to bench him already. Now, firstly, I would like to preface this by saying yes, PJ does need to kick it up a notch on offense, and that's mostly just his shot making that he needs to pick up. Shooting 40% from the field and 25% from three is not going to look great when the playoffs come around, but I choose to believe that the scoring will at least approach his typical efficiency that we've seen in the past in multiple seasons, because barring injuries, typically players don't just have huge drops in statistics or efficiency unless their playing time is just significantly cut down. And PJ's still only 25. He has yet to begin his prime. He has shot 38% on 4.5 attempts, 36% on 5.5 attempts before, had some other decently efficient seasons from the field and from three as well. All of that combined, I really just don't see how he's not going to at least somewhat approach where he was, if not exceed where he was previously. Now, despite PJ's extreme shooting struggles, he is still maintaining a plus 7.7, that's 89th percentile. Very impressive regardless of his shooting efficiency. The Mavericks score 120.7 points per 100 possessions with PJ on the court, which is 86th percentile, and the team shoots an effective field goal percentage of 57.1 with PJ on the court as well. And both of those specific stats, I do realize that Luka and Kyrie make up for a lot of deficiencies on that end, and they can make pretty much any squad look somewhat efficient. I wanted to include these two stats to show that even with his massive shooting struggles, PJ can still be part of an extremely effective offense. 91st percentile in turnover percentage and 73rd percentile in offensive rebound percentage. And that might not sound impressive, but when you look at the on-off differential, you see that offensive rebound percentage of 29.2, and that's going to be 7.7% better than him off the floor, which is 97th percentile when it comes to that on-off split. All of this to say, once or if PJ gets his shot back to normal, the offense will easily be able to flourish, especially with how well of a connector PJ already is on that side of the court, especially by finishing plays at the rim, making the right reads, great passes to teammates, keep the ball moving, and not turning the ball over hardly ever. I don't know if you saw that turnover percentage. But yeah, PJ does not turn the ball over, which is a great sign to see from a role player for the Dallas Mavericks, because everyone knows the Dallas Mavericks like to turn the ball over. Now, the defensive numbers is where it really gets intriguing. I've seen multiple comments also calling out PJ for this defense, and this is just really where I draw the line. I mean, the Mavericks give up 113 points per 100 possessions with PJ on the court, which is solid, not great, not a fantastic number. But when you take a closer look, or you see that with PJ on the bench, the Dallas Mavericks give up 119.2 points per 100 possessions. And that's just a drastic leap from a single player, especially when that player is considered to be not a good defensive player. I just have to disagree. All the numbers, legitimately all of the advanced stats, not any of the whatever equation type of stats where people put together all this nonsense. No, all just the straightforward defensive stats when it comes to keeping the other team from scoring and what the Mavericks defensive averages with PJ off the court compared to him on. It's just a drastic leap, and it's really hard to just not see that like obvious standout number. Teams do shoot roughly the same field goal percentage with him on or off the court, and you know, you can say what you want about that, but that's still 70th percentile, solid, not bad. The turnover percentage goes up by plus 1.3% with PJ on the court, and that is 81st percentile. Other teams also secure offensive rebounds at a drastically lower rate, with PJ on the court going from 24.8%, which is horrible. Come on, Dallas Mavericks. What are you doing with that? And then with PJ on the court to 18.9%, which is 97th percentile. So suffice to say, PJ is either at the very least a positive defensive player or, in my opinion, a game-changing defensive player. Now, I wouldn't say PJ is elite in every single category, but he's above average or elite in several categories, and he's not bad in any of them. And that, to me, is a very, very versatile, good defensive player, which is what we were describing PJ as in the trade season. And the main reason I've seen people call out PJ about his defense is strictly due to his defensive rating. He has a defensive rating of 120. Yeah, that's not good, but neither is the Dallas Mavericks defense. Don't know the last time any of those people checked that, but it's pretty hard to have a good individual defensive rating when your overall team defense is also bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but what difference could PJ do? I mean, the defense is better by almost 8 points per 100 possessions with PJ on the court. So I don't really understand where people are just blindly looking past the direct stats. with the eye test included, I just cannot fathom only looking at his defensive rating and drawing my conclusion primarily just off of that alone. PJ was a massive part of the Nuggets win the other night, and he went only 2 for 10 from the field. So that just shows you how important he is from the team. But his defense was just out of this world. PJ was denying Jamal Murray for a decent stretch of the game and just making life difficult on both Murray and Jokic throughout the game. PJ played on ball against Jokic for a decent chunk of the game, and let's just say Jokic ended the game with he ended the game going 6 for 16 from the field. Not a great percentage, which that was in large part due to Derek Lively on Jokic as well, which also shout out to Derek Lively, which, by the way, in all of these defensive stats, PJ ranked higher or the same or better in every single category than Lively. And pretty much every Mavericks fan you would ask would say Derek Lively has been a great defender. So I don't know how Derek Lively's a great defender, but PJ Washington's not a good defender, even solid defensive player. Like, people are straight up saying he's bad. I just don't understand. But yeah, PJ really held his own in that matchup, and honestly, I was very impressed, and I've already been a huge PJ fan. I've already been huge on his defense since the beginning. Even when he screws up on a play, he really just knows how to recover. He's always back in it. I mean, even that play against Jamal, PJ kind of got screwed because they switched. I think, who was it? Maxey? Someone didn't switch. And so on that screen, Jamal Murray's wide open at the elbow. If anything, that might have been an offensive foul on Jokic holding PJ back. But PJ still recovered, and I don't know if you noticed, but that last second contest, I think it really threw Murray off because he thought he was going to maybe get a hand on it. In a way, I think PJ was, at the very least, the fourth best player in that game against the Nuggets while going 2 for 10 from the field. That's such an outstanding impact from an individual defensive player. Dallas Mavericks fans, please consider the context when you think about when you're making all of these comments. PJ Washington deserves our praise for what he is doing. Yes, we need him to get his shot back to form. All of us understand that and agree, but that does not mean bench the guy. I mean, kid kept playing Tim through his shooting slump for half of this season. I think it's okay to give PJ Washington 10 or 20 games to get his shot back from being traded from the team he was drafted to, okay? Just give the guy a little bit of time to mesh. His defense has already been fantastic. You can see he's playing his heart out every single night. This dude never takes plays off. I genuinely think PJ Washington is a great piece going forward, and the guy is only 25 years old. We could easily see an increase of output from this guy over the next couple seasons. Oh, look, that's not PJ, but wow, look at the coordination on that Euro step from our rookie Derek Lively. Now watch the effort on Jamal right here from PJ. Stays in front of him. Now through the whole play, PJ's help defense. You can see PJ's not going to overhelp on one pass away, which him being patient actually led to him grabbing that steal off of the Jokic pass. Now PJ holding his ground in front of Jamal, not letting him blow past him, and that switch doesn't happen if PJ's there. Luka, amazing shot. Wow, beautiful. And now pay close attention to PJ on this last contest. Jokic is going to come up for the screen. Maxey gets caught. PJ gets tripped by Jokic, but he still makes that beautiful contest. And then what a shot by Kyrie Irving. To me, I think PJ is a very important piece already, and especially once his offense comes through, he's going to be a very, very, very important piece down the line. And I'm just really excited to see this guy continue to blossom as a Dallas Maverick. See ya.